Hello everyone, TurtleAgs here, bringing you another AFK journey video. Welcome to part 1 of this 6-part series in which I go over the optimal mythic charm sets for every single hero in this game, beginning with the tank class. And my plan is I'm going to have 6 videos, right? One for each class, and I will probably release 3 of these videos a day, just across the course of the day. That way, by the time Ludovic is released on Friday, we should pretty much have an idea of the optimal charm set for every single hero. I will include Ludovic in the support class video. I'm not going to go over how to get magic charms or how to get mythic charms, when, how to craft, that sort of thing. You can check my older magic charms video. The purpose of this is just so that you can follow along in the video, pull out your game, and swap charms along the way to the charm sets that I recommend. Without further ado, let's begin with Doran. So Doran, let me just briefly go over the tank charm set in general. Every single tank, when you complete the charm set, will have the same ability, and that is recovers 3% HP per second for 8 seconds and reduces damage taken by 20% when the HP ratio dips below 30% for the first time. So basically, burst healing, emergency healing, as well as damage mitigation when they're in the red, right? This healing is triggered again after 15 seconds, but at a reduced rate, recovering only 2% HP per second. So it's a way for tanks to self-sustain in case you decide not to bring a support, or if for whatever reason your support dies and your tank's like Monka trying to hold down the front line. So very cool. And I am of the opinion that, you see, there are 10 different charms that you can collect for Mythic. I have collected 5 of the left side, but there are 5 more, as you can see. And you know, there's different charms here. Now, what do I believe is the best charm set for a tank? Now, it really depends, because there are offensive tanks like Granny and Doran, and there's more defensive tanks like Lumont and Entendre, right? So, you know, if you're going to run Doran or Granny for Supreme Arena or deficit pushing on AFK stages, you're probably going to run a different charm set that is more offensive versus, like, you know, for Lumont or Entendre that are just basically supposed to hold, you know, just like Omega tank, in which case you'll probably still go for something like skill power, but instead of ultimate power, you probably go for like HP or, you know, something like that. So Doran in particular, because he is an offensive tank, there are 2 charms that I would recommend: either the HP skill power or the ultimate strength and skill power. Now, they do recommend HP and vitality. Personally, I would much rather have skill power plus something else. And to my knowledge, if I just cycle through these real quick, I think the only 2 charms that offer skill power are the sorcery charm, the one with the wizard hat, as well as the one that looks like a snake, which is the insight charm. So either HP and skill power or ultimate and skill power would be what I recommend. Personally, I think that HP and skill power is just fine, because honestly, ultimate skill power, even if you were to have that, it's not like Doran's going to ultimate that much, and the ultimate just deals a little bit more damage. So personally, I would like him to be a little bit more tanky with 7.7% additional HP per copy of this magic charm, because remember, there's left, top, and right. And then you can have skill power. And remember, guys, you can mix and match as well, and it's not like we're going to own all of them. In my case, I did farm a little bit. I was able to get the insight charm, which means I got the maximum 3 skill power along with 7.7% times 3 HP. So that makes my Doran really tanky to be able to survive hits, and also, you know, do his Doran X/ultimate cheese, you know, because he's surviving. What I like about the skill power for Doran in particular is that it improves his ability to heal himself as well as revive with more HP. Because if you were to back up for a moment, look at his abilities, you know, with the blue is the one that increases for every skill power gain. So since I have 3 copies of 3 points of skill power, I get 0.5% times 3, so I get an extra 1.5% extra HP drain. Now, some of you guys may be like, oh, 1.5, that's like nothing. Yeah, but it is over the course of the entire battle, so cumulatively it matters. It can matter quite a bit, especially when you are pushing a very high Dream Realm stage where the enemy's dealing more and more damage, and just being able to top yourself up from disaster, you know, like of being two-shotted, it can be quite helpful. And then here, as you can see, you know, with each point of skill power, so 4% extra HP restored when he revives. So personally, I like the one with the snake for Thorn. Let's go ahead and move on. Now talking about Granny. Granny is very good with deficit stage pushing, with Supreme Arena as well. I consider her an offensive tank because the only other hero besides Smokey who is able to put a dent into the enemies at high deficit stage pushing are Granny, Cassidy, Floribel, and Burial, and to some extent Arden from my experience. So what would I recommend for Granny? Now, the game recommends to either HP energy on hit or HP vitality, but as I mentioned before, I generally like ultimate strength and skill power, so I'm going to swap over to that. I really like the wizard hats, but you know, if I could not choose that, then I probably would go. I would probably. It depends on what you want to do. I think that probably the Iron Wall charm would be better in this case, although these charms aren't that great. I'll probably stick with that one. And then finally, I do have both of the optimal ones here, but ultimate strength or energy on hit, I probably would go with this one. So, you know, there's many different charms that you can choose from depending on, you know, which ones you have. And so to narrow it down to 2 or 3, you know, it's not always so easy. However, I think as a rule of thumb, go for skill power or ultimate strength. The reason why I chose that is because when I, oops, let's go ahead and, oh, I didn't save it. Okay, hold on. So that, and then let's go for ultimate power and ultimate strength and energy on hit. Let's go ahead and save. So why did I recommend those? The wizard, like I would consider this charm to be the best one, followed by, let me see. Probably followed by I would probably, because energy on hit is nice because it allows her to get her ult faster, and I think the ult is what makes Granny so good. Granny is kind of mid when she's out of her ultimate form. So I would probably recommend either the Resolute charm, which is the one with the mask, or the Wizard charm for Granny. And this is so interesting, right? Because you notice that the 10 charms available to Granny aren't necessarily the same as with Thorn. So that's what makes magic charms so interesting. So anyways, that is what I would choose for that. And just going over what the ultimate strength and skill power offers, when you have ultimate strength, you cause the enemy to lose more energy, which is very powerful, right? It's not just flat out damage, they just lose more energy. And then the skill power allows you to do more damage in this case, and also recover more HP in this case. So you see why I love skill power so much. It's actually one of the most versatile stat lines out there. So when in doubt, I generally recommend in order of priority: skill power, ultimate strength, energy on hit, haste. Those I feel like are the 4 stat lines that are the most powerful for magic charms, because it always is a good thing to get more energy. That's why Rowan's so good, right? And now there is another one called Execute, which we'll talk about later, although you're not going to have any tanks execute, but that's for another video. All right, let's go over Foresto next. Now, Foresto is used in all game modes, so this is going to be very interesting. HP and skill power I think will be quite good. HP energy on hit, not so much. So this is interesting, right? Because, sorry, I keep saying interesting because this one, my most favorite, or one of my most favorite charms is the one that they don't recommend. I do believe that skill power and ultimate strength is very good on Foresto. Yeah, but here they want you to just select the ones that offer more HP. So if we kind of go through this real quick, all the different charms out there. So the attack, ultimate strength. I think though in Foresto's case, the most important one is the skill power, and I believe this is the only charm that offers skill power, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. I believe that was the case. And there's two different ones that offer skill. Yeah, so for me personally, I think the Insight charm, the one that looks like a snake, is the best charm set for Foresto. I don't think there's any others that come close to its potential, and the reason for that is because when we go into the skill, so the ultimate, it allows him to deal more damage. I suppose this could be very useful for deficit stage pushing. If you know you didn't get all five enemies into Smokey's blue fog, and you know maybe one or two of them has survived with maybe half HP left, your Foresto could theoretically bring them down to 0 HP if you had them dealing enough damage. So, but as you can see here, skill power increases the damage output for this ability, and it also, okay, so this is why I really like Foresto's skill power, because what makes Foresto so good against the Dream Realm right now is that he makes the enemy lose 2% plus 0.4% of the enemy's max HP per second. So this is kind of like a Smokey. And this is part of the reason too why Foresto is used in a lot of deficit stage pushing, besides just being a really solid tank. So for this reason, I think skill power is the most important stat line for Foresto. Ultimate is also very helpful, but the problem is that Foresto doesn't gain any charm sets that offer both skill points and ultimate strength to my knowledge. I'll double check one more time to confirm. Let's see. Yeah, I was correct. So Insight charm, best charm for Foresto by a mile. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So Temesia is run in one Dream Realm boss Necro Dragon, as well as Supreme Arena formations, particularly in Vala comps. So as such, I think we're going to be focused a lot on damage here. And as per usual, my favorite charm, as you can tell by now, is skill power. But recommended charms, ultimate strength. I would say that this Eagle charm might be the next best charm. Let me just confirm. So remember what I said earlier. Skill power first, followed by ultimate strength. So there's two different ultimate strengths. It's either HP or attack. Now they recommend HP and ultimate strength, but if you want to do more damage, you may want to go attack and ultimate strength. So here Temesia has 3 different charm sets that I would recommend. Personally, I would go with Insight charm because it's the only charm that Temesia has that provides skill power, followed by either the offensive ultimate strength charm Blast charm or the defensive ultimate strength charm Eagle charm. So you got 3 choices for her. And just to, so you guys are aware, what the skill point does is it either increases the damage of Iron Heal and increases the damage of Courage, Sword, and then Ultimate Strength. They all increase damage. So those would be the 3 I recommend. Now moving on to Entendre. Entendre is a different story because the main reason you run her is to survive, although I still prefer skill power, generally speaking. HP and ultimate strength, now that I think about it, I think both her and Lumont, they have ultimates that matter more. Let me see. So afterwards, she raises the shield to stun adjacent enemies, dealing blah damage, knocking them down, recovering. So that she recovers more HP for herself. Is that what it is? And then, ooh, but her skill power blocks damage for an ally. I feel like that's more valuable. Yeah, it reduces and you reduce the target's attack by, X amount for an extra second. So I actually think on skill power is more important for Entendre. If we can find a skill power as well as defensive stat, or better yet, ooh, she even gets execution, although we don't really need that. Ooh, I like this one a lot. Sorcery Charm. Sorcery Charm hands down is the best one. But if you can't get Sorcery Charm, then I would probably recommend Insight Charm, followed by the Eagle Charm in that order. Let me see if I have any of those. Okay, so I do have this. And do I have skill set? Let me see. No, I don't. Okay. So yeah, I would probably recommend, I would recommend the snake, the Insight Charm, followed by, well, actually I would recommend the Sorcery Charm, the one with the wizard hat, followed by the snake, and then followed by the other one, the Eagle Charm that offers ultimate strength. All right, so let's go ahead and save that. Moving on to the next one here, we have Olmus. Now, Olmus is run in deficit pushing for AFK stages as well as Supreme Arena. And so in his case, he's more, I would say, skill power and ultimate's the way to go. So which one is that? Let me actually double check first what the ultimate strength and skill powers do. Okay, so this helps him restore HP and deal more damage for the ultimate. Here, he shields more with skill, and he recovers more HP with the skill point. So skill point, ultimate strength, both going to be very useful for him. So as such, I would probably go, let's see. Yeah, so the two recommendeds from the game I don't recommend. I would go for the one that offers skill, if there's any. Yeah, so the Recovering Charm is quite good. Yeah, so I'd probably go Recovering Charm or Eagle Charm. So the one with the leaf, as you can see here. Yeah, and if you don't have those, then the Eagle Charm would be the next one. So, yeah, one of these two, the leaf or the eagle, would be what I would recommend. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. Okay, so let's keep going here. Okay, Lumont. So Lumont, he does a little bit more damage than a traditional tank. However, he doesn't do as much damage as Granny and Thorn. But one way or the other, we do recommend skill power and ultimate strength. So if we can find the wizard, yep, perfect. So I'm going to go with the wizard, and wizard. I actually think the sorcery charm, the one with the wizard hat, is the best. Let's go ahead and save, and you can kind of see what stats he gets from that. So as you can see here, he deals more damage, 30% more damage, with the full 3 of the ultimates, and then he does an extra 40% damage. He gains a shield that can block an extra up to 40% damage. Ooh, and even extending the duration of the stun, that is huge. Like an extra 0.25 seconds, it might sound like nothing, but when you're trying to keep the enemies from degrouping while waiting for Smokey to activate his blue fog, or prevent them from activating their ability to restore their HP, the extra 0.25 seconds can make a difference. like it. I like it a lot. So now finally we have Lucius. So Lucius, same thing here. Let's look for, do we have the wizard? He does not get access to the wizard hat. So you could either go haste and skill power, wizard charm, or recovery charm. He actually gets access to some good charms here. So which one would I recommend? Honestly, any of these three could be quite good, because with the haste, he can get his ultimate up sooner, right? Because he's getting more attacks in. Here, you know, he's healing more. In both of these, they're healing more, but you're deciding between skill power or ultimate strength, all of which are pretty good. So, you know, Mystic Charm, Wizard Charm, or Recovering Charm, they're all very good. I would say they're about equal. So if you can get any of those, that would be great. And if you don't have any of them, then I suppose, like I mentioned before, energy on hit is the best, which is what I selected there. Yeah, haste and skill power. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the tanks. I hope that was informative. If you feel like there are better stat lines than skill power, ultimate strength, haste, and energy on hit, do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.